Well, good evening, boys and girls. Haven't been gone forever, not forgotten. But I've run into the more recent concept that Monk Farmer hasn't been on the internet a long time. He doesn't need to be anymore. Because like I told everybody when I used to make videos and TikToks and mostly just YouTube, that after a while, I just disappear. And that's kind of what I did. But I did realize that in the MGTOW community, which I kind of faded away from because there's nothing more for me to even talk about anymore that the next group isn't talking about already. But now I catch some channels that are actually pro-men, but they're women, and the women don't understand that now a man or men are walking away from women, as they would say, because we don't want to give up our peace. When in reality, they're negating the reason we're actually walking away. And the reason we're walking away is not our peace. We've evolved. We've had enough of us older men talking about this, but now we're seeing that it's not that the women would mess up our peace. They're not paying attention. And they're never paying attention. And more men are just waking up to the realization that they can see it. Now, here's an example. I go places and I do my shopping and I enjoy casual conversations in a controlled situation, and I genuinely listen. And usually when I listen, it freaks people out. But most of the time, and I kind of don't do this much anymore, I would talk to young girls because that's who worked the checkouts. I didn't want anything further or past that 2-minute conversation with someone to ask them how their day is doing, because I know retail sucks. But it makes you recognize that men aren't gonna give up their peace. No, it's we're recognizing the women don't care. I've had an interaction with a young girl for probably 2 years. And one day I walk up to her after having these probably 2-3 times a week. I would always go to the same young girl because I knew her family and it's like I get along with them. And I'd have just conversations about stuff going on between families and what she's doing and this and that and the other thing. I'm too old. She's too young. These young girls don't realize that when they're underage, I go to jail. Any man, we go to jail. Do not pass go, do not click $200. So I'm just like kind of ignoring it because they're attention farming is what I want to call it. They will talk to you and try and get your attention. And I would just have like friendly conversations. I don't want that kind of energy. I'm not interested in anymore. And one day I walk up and I don't even say anything. And she's backing away, scared out of her mind. Because in that, say, almost 2 years of mild interactions, she never once saw me. She was only seeing the reflection and the projection that she wanted to see. And only to benefit her own self. So men aren't walking away because we want to keep our peace. We know we can keep our peace. Men are walking away because now you're not hiding how fake and how deceptive and how condescending and how most of you women know we're just walking wallets. And you're not even hiding it anymore. You don't care about the man in front of you. You care about the image that he presents for you. And there's too many men out there that are just like, I'm better off being alone than having to deal with a woman who doesn't even recognize the man standing in front of her, who only sees a projection, who only sees what she wants to see, and doesn't really care. So at any given moment when that image of hers slips, she might actually see the person in front of her. And I watched this young girl before. I mean, she's 18, but at the same time, I knew she wasn't. And I didn't know she was until recently. But when you have 16-year-old girl trying to flirt with you, it's incredibly off-putting. It's like, seriously, no, you're attention farming. But she never saw me until one day, literally, she slid away in basically horror. And I didn't change. But all of a sudden, she saw something different that's always been there. The part they don't realize, and most people recently, when people disrespect you and you don't react to them, you just maintain your control. And then all of a sudden, they don't understand why you're not angry. We're not angry. We're just keeping a checklist and checking it twice. And remembering those things. Because we know, in the end, those people that disrespect you and do you harm will meet their own end. It's not for me to judge them, but when they don't see you, what is the point? When they see you as an extension of themselves and not your individual person, when they see you as what they want to see you as, if they see you as a walking wallet, they don't see the man. And men now are recognizing this in real time. We're done. We can interact with you, but we know you're not getting anything from us because we're not going to give it to you because you're not going to invest in us, and we can see that. We are aware of it in the very short term because as if I was talking to you, you're not hearing me, you're not listening. We know you're not actively in the present moment. And we know everything can and will be used against us at any point in time that you feel like it. Because you don't care about us. You never did. You never will. It's just you're not hiding it anymore. So, we're not interested. It's not our piece. It's not our piece at all. We just know you're not worth it. Because we know you're not going to invest and you don't care. And the slave class is bad enough, but we're not going to enslave ourselves for you. So no, we are not dumb. That's the problem. Men are walking away to keep their peace. No, men are walking away because we can see it so obviously you're not even trying to hide it. You offer nothing and expect everything. You don't even come by with the cordial compliment or even being polite anymore. You walk into the room and I am the table. It's not even worth trying because it's so blatantly in our face. It's not about our peace anymore. You're an absolute waste of time. And this is the part that I know these female commentators are probably doing the best they can, but they're so far behind and they'll never catch up because they're still women. They don't care either. I mean, they might be polite. They may not be the worst of grifters because we have a couple that are actually really good women. But they're not men. They don't deal with it. They don't see it. They're not forced into the existence of having to live by it. There was a comedian or something, he said, many men will never know the love of a woman, even their own love of their mother, because their mother was the same way. Jezebel spirits manipulating for their own benefit when usually, and more often than not, if they would do things for the benefit of their families and their husbands, it would benefit them more. But like they say, men will sacrifice themselves for their family, and women will sacrifice their families for themselves. They can't hide it. They're not hiding it. It's not about our peace. We know it's pointless.